Welcome in former MLB Executive of the Year and CBS Sports Baseball insider Jim Bowden. Look, the top three of this lineup for the Phillies finally break out. They were a combined 2 for 21, 11 strikeouts in the first two games. In this one, 7 for 13, 5 RBI, 2 home runs. It was the difference in the game.
Yeah, and there's no doubt you could see the fight with the Phillies. They weren't just going to roll over in this series. And for Kyle Schwarber, he hits the 2 home runs that you and I have talked about. He's going to finish second in the MVP voting to Shohei Ohtani. That's the kind of year that he's had. And he's put this team on his back so many different times. And in a game like this, to be able to go yard twice. The catcher JT Realmuto had a big home run in this game as well for them. But there's no doubt, when you see Schwarber and Trey Turner getting a couple hits and Bryce Harper doing his thing, that's what the Phillies need to win. They need their stars to be stars, and their stars were stars tonight.
Do you think this is a one-game thing, or do you think the Phillies found something here in this game?
Well, I think they found something. I do. I mean, look, there's a reason why. I had picked the Phillies originally to get to the World Series and play the Mariners. That's how much respect I have for the stars on this team. But they didn't perform in the first 2 games. They went down 2-0. They traveled to L.A., and they're not the kind of team that's going to roll over. And so I expect this to continue for them in the next game. I don't think this series is over yet. I said from the very beginning I thought it would go 5 games. I still think it's going to go 5 games.
Fighting Phils battle back here in Game 3, thanks to the top of their lineup. And if you mentioned, of course, you mentioned JT Realmuto. Bryce Harper was also among the guys that were helping in the top of that order. And look, when you look at the pitching, I want to take you back to the first inning. Aaron Nola gets out of a jam. There's runners on the corners. I know Shohei Ohtani flew out, but then you've got the triple from Mookie Betts on a play that Brandon Marsh tried to make. It was out of his reach. Then you get a strikeout. You get a hit by pitch, and then he gets Will Smith looking to end the inning. That's in the bottom of the first. I mean, that game could have went a different direction. Setting the tone meant what for the Phillies there in that first inning?
Oh, I think that was the key to the whole game. You know, I think a lot of people were questioning the pitching plan by manager Rob Thompson going into the game. There's a lot of people that didn't understand why Ranger Suarez wasn't getting the start. Rob Thompson told everyone it's because I've never seen Nola pitch out of the bullpen. He's not comfortable doing that, so I'm going to start him and then have Suarez follow. And so for Nola to get in trouble in that first inning, you know, you had all the Philly fans going, what are you doing? See, I told you. See, I told you. And for him to be able to pitch out of it, it gave him confidence. It gave the Phillies team confidence. And as you said, it did set the tone. And then Nola did a very great job in that second inning. And then Suarez came in and did exactly what Rob Thompson wanted him to do with 5 innings after that. And the key to the game for them really was the fact they didn't have to use Matt Strahm. They didn't have to use Johan Duran, although they did warm him up in that 7th inning. But the fact that they were able to keep them away sets them up perfectly for the game tomorrow. Another elimination game here for the Phillies, but the Phillies are going to have their ace, Christopher Sanchez, on the mound, and they're going to have Strahm and Duran ready to go 3 innings if they need it. So pitching-wise, the Phillies are really set up perfectly against the Dodgers tomorrow. We're going to send Tyler Glasnow to the mound because they're going to save Shohei Ohtani in case there's a Game 5 in Philadelphia. So very interesting pitching matchup for tomorrow. You got to give the edge to the Phillies when you look at the pitching matchup.
Christopher Sanchez gave up 2 runs in 5 2/3 earlier in this series. They need a similar outing from him on Thursday. What more do you need from him there in terms of what they're going to have to get from him on Thursday to force a Game 5?
Yeah, you know, Zach Wheeler out for the year. He was always the ace of this team. He was the guy that always stepped up in the postseason. And in this postseason without Wheeler, it's Sanchez's time. It's his turn. You know, remember when we were covering the Giants all those years and they won 3 world championships and one year Matt Cain was the ace and one year Tim Lincecum was, and then the next year it was Madison Bumgarner's turn. That's what's happening in Philadelphia right now. If the Phillies are going to move to the next round, they need their new ace, Christopher Sanchez, to be that guy and carry them and force a Game 5. So they're going to need a dominant performance from him without a doubt. The other thing, Hakeem, that happened tonight that I thought was kind of embarrassing was Dave Roberts leaving Clayton Kershaw in as long as he did to be embarrassed like he did tonight. You know, we all know that Clayton's going to the Hall of Fame. We all respect what he's done for his career. But I was kind of surprised that he allowed him to stay in and get beat up as much as he did in this game. I'm not sure how appropriate that really was for the Dodgers. And I know what he was trying to do, which is save all his pitching for tomorrow's game, which he did successfully. He only used Kershaw and Blake Trinan after him. But I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. That was terrible. I mean, that was awful. Like, I'll just call it what it is. I mean, I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, you're going to make him wear that in a game when the game's already out of hand. Yeah, that was puzzling, to say the least. I didn't care for that. But, we'll just leave it at that. We'll just leave it at that. If you're the Dodgers going to a Game 4, what is it that you have to do to get over the hump here? Because, look, the Phillies are not just going to go away. This isn't a team that just got into the playoffs. This is a top seed in the National League.
Yeah, so you're going to need length of glass now, and then you're going to go in with the blueprint of using Vesia, Emmett Sheehan, and Sasaki, and you got to hope that those four pitchers can pitch the game, because we talked going into this series, what's the Achilles heel of the Dodgers? It's the bullpen. And the only way they were going to overcome that is make their starters relief and have those starters be effective there. Sasaki, who wasn't the closer in the regular season, was just named the closer after the playoffs start. So he's the guy that's going to get that ninth inning now. And then they're going to have to use another one of their starting pitchers tomorrow, Emmett Sheehan, in relief of Glass now at some point when he comes off, and use Vesia and hope that that group can get the job done and hold the Phillies' bats down. Because the one thing the Dodgers cannot let happen, they can't let their lack of bullpen depth lose them this series. They've got the advantage. They just need one more win to go to the next round, but they got to be very careful not to let their biggest weakness stand in the way of the next round.
Well, the Phillies trying to force a winner-take-all back at their ballpark, and you see Kyle Schwarber, an absolute slump buster. They hope that they can carry that into Game 4 on Thursday night. Jim Bowden here with us on CBS Sports HQ. Great to talk with you, Jim.
Thanks, Akeem.
We talk with Jim Bowden throughout the entire postseason. We get deeper and deeper as you take a look at Thursday's NLDS slate. Another chance to move on. The Dodgers will try to knock out the Phillies, and the Brewers will try to knock out the Cubs. We'll see what happens here. First pitch for Phillies and Dodgers, 6:08 Eastern time, followed by Brewers and Cubs just after 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have full highlights and post-game analysis right here on CBS Sports HQ.